Yeah, yeah. So when I was writing this book, I was really in a rush because I felt like every day someone's gonna release it. Someone gonna release this theory before I get to publish it, and I was like really trying to do my best to finish it as fast as I can before someone else does it. Even though I know it doesn't matter because if the amount of people that are aware of this theory is so tiny that even if someone else release exact same thing, uh, I wouldn't be able to take the credit even though I wrote it first. But I wanted to at least have beat them to the finish line. Okay, but the thing is, this theory is coming. Like this is the everywhere you look, you see that arguments don't make sense, and the only thing that puts them all and puts everything together, connects all the dots, or at least all the dots of serious science, you can say, or I'm not talking about connecting the dots in terms of conspiracies, although you can also make conspiracies out of this theory, but forget about that. Connecting the dots that are inside, this is the theory that connects them all, and it's just and everyone's like just like almost there, but then something holds them back. And now, but the thing is, the thing that holds them back, I'm kind of aware why that is, and these are all, well, they're just wrong. There's wrong thoughts like that dominate the people. The, dominate the scientific and social sphere, but they're still wrong. So, uh, like, if I start like take the idea that people want to preserve reality, that's what they think. Like, so they see the things that are what quantum field theory shows. They see the measurement problem, they see the superposition, all that stuff, and they are trying to preserve reality. And what they're trying to preserve reality. So, and they think that if they won't preserve it, then they will sink into idealism, like, or dualism. Just everything just ideas. Like there's nothing physical. That's kind of like the assumption that we have to protect physics from being in a reality where everything is mental and whatever you think is what's true, and there's nothing to build a science on. That's baloney, and there's nothing about that kind of line of thought that is correct. First, we have the empirical evidence to show that the brain has tightly linked with thought, and so when you say something about idealism, about ideas, you are actually talking a lot about the brain. So you cannot really disentangle them, and you cannot say that that if reality no longer exists and you only have all you have are ideas, then you don't have physical stuff. You do have physical stuff because you have it in the brain. You have like connection between ideas in the brain. I'm not, but forget about that. The very idea that of the reality that science is trying to protect, to assume that not to let it devolve into mind only and whatever, like to preserve physicalism, to preserve physics, that reality. What I really am amazed that we are actually thinking this is taking this as a serious thought. Think about a video game, okay? How do video games work? Video games work using the laws of physics. You have capacitors, you have electric wirings, you have all magnetism, all that stuff inside a computer, connecting to a physical computer, connecting to a physical screen, and then presenting on physical pixels, And then inside, when you watch that video, that screen, you see a world that looks also three-dimensional, looks physical, but it's not physical, right? It's not. It's just a flat screen with pixels on them, and from far enough away, you don't see the pixels, and you can immerse yourself in the make-believe reality that the computer produces. So that's physical. Like, you know that the reality, even though it looks like physical, even though if the game has a physics engine, you know there's nothing physical going on in there. You know that the real physical stuff is in the computer, right? Right? Like that's what everybody knows. And now, and another thing, everybody knows that the reality you perceive isn't physical reality. Like, you don't perceive magnetism. You don't perceive gravity waves. You don't perceive infrared, ultraviolet. Don't perceive X-rays. There's so much you don't perceive, and so you know the reality as you perceive it isn't like tables and chairs and mountains. That's not real. Like, we know that that's not, or at least that's not physical. That's not the thing that we're trying to preserve when we say we want to preserve physics. Because physics isn't that. So is it? So and what's the problem then? The problem is not that we want to preserve physics; that we want to preserve the lazy thought that physical reality looks like object in space. That's basically what we're trying to preserve when we are stuck in physicalism. We know already that physicalism is an extension of physics, and we know that the physics, specifically if we think about quantum field theory, about quantum effects, that doesn't look like at all like space and time and all that stuff that we see in front of us, that we sense. We know that the reality, the physical reality that we say that we want to preserve, you know that it can possibly be just stuff in space. Like, it doesn't. We have the evidence to show, and yet we say, oh, if we're going to say anything other than that, if we're going to say that the reality is in space, now we're going into metaphysics. Now we're going into woo-woo. Now we're going to crazy ideas that people, stories that people tell because they feel like it. No. That's wrong. That's not metaphysics. That's the actual physics. The thing that I call the objective substrate that that experience reflects on, that's not metaphysics. That's physics. We are like just stuck in this lazy position where we have to have it all fed in a spoon, that the things, that reality, the physical reality, is the same as the space that we perceive. That's basically it. That's where we're stuck. And we won't be stuck there for long, because the evidence shows that that's wrong.